All right. Welcome, Webmasters clients, to a very special episode of our podcast, Meet the QuaranTeam. Everybody say hi.
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 Yes. We have several distinguished members of our very merry band of weird people to introduce you today. And as you can see, we are all working from home. So you're going to see a little bit of our personal life and get to know us a little bit and get to know what we're doing, each of our different roles, while we continue to remain isolated for the time being. So everybody, I'm going to introduce you one by one real quickly, and I just want you to share your name, your position, and then a very brief, as much as possible, description of what you do. Kelly, why don't we start with you?
I was afraid of that. Hi, I'm Kelly. I'm the content editor, and brief description of my job. I edit everything that's content related. So all the pages on the sites, I read through everything and make sure it's all grammatically correct.
Nice. Now, you have one of the most challenging jobs of working with a bunch of people and making sure that their writing is consistent across the website you're working on.
Yes.
So if you're interested in the quality of your website content, Kelly is a good person to talk to, and she's been doing a great job of that for over a year now, right?
Well, I was a content writer for a year. I've been editor for a few weeks now.
Yeah. So, all right, next we have Amber Lynn. She helps with some of our editing as well as a lot of our social media stuff. Amber Lynn, why don't you go next?
Okay. Hi, guys. You guys have seen me in the podcasts. I am Madison's most frequent co-host. I assist the content editor with editing as the assistant editor. I'm also quality assurance, so I make sure everything is up to 100% standard for you. And aside from that, mostly I just interface with different departments to make sure your site goes live pretty smoothly.
I actually instructed Amberlyn to refer to herself as Dog's Body.
You're going to have to explain that one later.
A dog's body is an old English term referring to a sort of drudge or grunt who worked for the butler of the house and basically did any task that nobody else wanted to do.
Yes, I am ye old menial labor person.
Another good one is charwoman.
Nice. Well, from Jason's description, you can tell that Amberlyn has a lot of very important jobs with filling in any gaps where we need to make sure your service is just 100% ready to go. Let's get a rep from the design team now. Caleb, why don't you tell us about yourself?
Yeah. So my name's Caleb. I'm part of the design team. I also help out with technical things as well as launching and maybe some customer service as well. But mainly my priorities are getting that site exactly how our clients want them, whether it's a custom feature that they want added or certain colors or a new logo as well. Basically, we're the front of making the website look as beautifully as you want it. So.
Yeah, Caleb does a lot of work to make sure that your site is launching properly and is showing up in local search results correctly. So he's a very important part of your each client project. All right, next we have one of our most important partners, but we work with him so often that I wanted to have him here with us today. Robert, why don't you go ahead and talk to us about yourself?
All right, my name is Robert, and I work with a partnering software development company. And I wrote the software that basically runs the agency along with a number of WordPress plugins. And we want to be the most efficient that we can for our clients and give them the best experience. And that software allows us to track what we do and stay on top of things in an efficient manner for our client base.
Well said. I understood most of that, I think. So Robert he's helped me out a lot with brand review, like our check-in system, and he's often my go-to person when I need to say, what do I do? Robert, what's the technical? Work your magic. So
User error.
Always.
So he's a very important part of our group here, helping us out. Even though he's our partner, he feels like a member of the team. All right. So, I'm saving one of the best for last here and reserving ourselves for maximum beard strength. Jason, why don't you tell us about yourself?
Howdy, I'm Jason. I'm the Director of Operations. Anyone who's watched any of our podcasts for any length of time has seen me and my beard before, alongside Nolan. Basically, I run all of the day-to-day. All of these other people work for me. But yeah, basically that's it. I ensure that all production is up to speed on both speed and time, and I help with new initiatives and processes and make sure that we're up to date from a technology and process standpoint.
So Jason has a lot of management responsibility and a lot of technical prowess, very much a backbone of our team here at the Webmasters. So let's move on to our next question here. This next one's going to be for everybody. As you probably know already, we have been working from home for quite a while now. And while there are some challenges to working from home and not sitting within a couple of feet of our coworkers, there's also some fun perks of doing it. So this one's up for everyone. What is your favorite thing about working from home during this time?
An extra hour of sleep every day.
Oh my goodness,
That's
I love that.
Is just I can get up a little later, and I personally still get up and make myself presentable and make myself human every day, but I don't have to do it quite as early. So that's my big one.
Mine is going to have to be proximity to snacks.
Yeah, I have to be careful not to gain 15 pounds during the course of a day just by eating all the Cheez-Its in my home.
My wife bought a giant-sized bag of peanut butter M&Ms like a week ago. They're almost gone. It's like I walk by, get a big handful. She's like, "Did you eat all these already?" I'm like, "Did you buy them?" Yes.
Mm-hmm. You're responsible.
Yeah, your fault.
That's right.
I mean, commute's a lot easier in the mornings. Definitely not having to sit in traffic for 20 minutes is very nice.
My commute's about 10 feet. That's pretty cool.
Right?
Mine is about that.
Yeah.
This is my bedroom and office, so it's a big room.
Yeah.
It beats 80-mile round trip commute into the office.
Yeah, the nice thing I think about working from home is that I basically have a window office now.
Nice.
Yeah, I see the light of day during the workday now. Yeah.
The perks.
Yeah.
I would definitely have to say traffic. Traffic is it's at the beginning of the day and it's at the end of the day, and with that gone, it is much more stress-free.
Mm-hmm. Caleb's one of the cooler members of our group because he's in a band, and you can see a little bit of his awesome sound equipment in the background. It makes me wonder, does Caleb think he's better than me? I don't know.
No. And over the wall of keyboards.
Oh my gosh.
Nice. Tons of gear.
What's your band's name, Caleb? I forgot.
Psychic Love Child.
Psychic Love Child. They're on iTunes. Check them out.
That's right. You can find us on psychiclovechild.com too.
There you go.
Shameless plug.
That plug.
Nice. All right. Well, let's move on to our next questions here. So each of us, I chose each of the members here on our little panel, quote unquote, because we each represent a different team here at the Webmasters, all integrated together, but all working on very different and very crucial parts. None of our websites would be as successful as they are if each of these teams weren't doing their part. So we're going to go around again for each individual. All right, tell me about what your team does and what you think is the most important part of what your team does. Let's start with Kelly again.
Okay. So yeah, I guess I'm kind of head of content. So my team, we create content. At least the in-house writers do. We do have freelancers as well. But my team creates content. We create everything you see on the pages in a site. And so I guess the most important thing would just be, that alone right there is the content creation is pretty big, because you don't have something on the page. It's kind of hard to tell a client what it is you do exactly.
Mm-hmm. And it's such an important part of your keyword strategy and connecting with clients. It's really doing a lot of the legwork of SEO, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. So that's really important there.
Oh yeah. So all right, let's move on to Amberlyn here. Describe you kind of do a lot of singular stuff, but what do you think is the most important thing that you do?
I don't really have a team, Madison. You're all my team.
You are the team.
A woman team, a one woman show.
I'm just kind of the last line of defense before the website goes live. So I enjoy making sure everything is, all the I's are dots and T's are crossed. So that's the most important thing of what I do.
Yeah. Amberlyn's being modest, though. She does a lot of important social media marketing stuff for our internal brand. So we won't get to talk about that as much today, but still very important. I'm looking down at you, by the way. This is what I'm doing when I look to the side. Okay. Okay, Jason. Oh, you're muted.
Amberlyn held up a sign earlier telling me to mute myself, so I did, as requested. So what's the question again?
What do you think is the most important aspect of what you do?
Facilitation, really. I facilitate all of I work with department heads, and I facilitate communication and workflow through the company. I make sure everybody works together, and that's pretty much it. It's just making sure that everything flows smoothly. I'm just sort of the eye in the sky, making sure everything goes the way it's supposed to go.
That's a good point. Sometimes just making sure everyone's on the same page can make or break timeliness for a given project, which is why having Jason here has helped us get our websites out on a timely basis for so long. All right, Robert, why don't you tell us what you think, tell us a little bit about what your team does. I know you manage some people, and what you think the most important aspect of your team's job is.
I think that one of the most important things that I do is provide the software that has the latest features and the latest technology, so that we can give our clients the agency's clients the latest technology and the best user experience. Being able to, for example, tag service pages to check-ins and reviews through the brand review software, things of that nature. There's a lot of features that we have in our software that I haven't seen anywhere else on the market. So we're constantly innovating, and we have a team of developers that keep moving that forward. So.
Yeah, a lot of work goes into, developing that software, debugging stuff, and making it, run as smoothly as possible and constantly improving it. If you're familiar with our brand review check-in software, Robert was a very instrumental part of developing that, and it's one of the reasons why we can deliver such great results for our local SEO customers. Also, he is probably
that's a thing with faint praise way of saying that he wrote the whole thing.
Yeah. There's no telling how much work and how many hours he put into that. It's astronomical. Also, he is the most likely. We were bragging on some people. He's the most likely to create his own stove out of parts you could find around the junkyard. I'm constantly amazed by the stuff he makes.
Thank you.
Wow. Okay, so last but not least, Caleb, you are a representative for the design team here, and one of my favorite teams here at the Webmasters. Why don't you tell us about it and what you think the most important part is?
So I think a lot of people can, design a site if they know how to, but designing it properly with SEO skills, putting link backs to the right places such as reviews, having your reviews listed, setting up righteous reviews, our brand reviews, everything to get our clients listed higher and faster and quicker. Some people might think it's all in the content, but a lot of it is to do with design. So I think that is one of our most top priorities when designing a site, as well as what the customer wants and color-wise, design-wise, but also keeping that in mind. I think that's our highest priority.
That's a good point. There's a lot of different elements that people don't realize go into designing a website. A lot of technical stuff that team is responsible for, and we can be very thankful that they're at work for your company during this time. All right, so this one, oh my goodness, Jason is distracting everybody. You couldn't see it, but he was holding up something that pretty goofy.
That's Jason. He's
Amberlyn
so
started
goofy.
it. Amberlyn started it.
All right, y'all. All right, this next one is a free-for-all. Who do you think has the hardest job at this company?
Jason.
That's what I was going to say.
You know, it bounces back and forth to me. There are times I'm like, oh yeah, Jason, hands down. And then I'll hear about like Kelly's day. I'm like, geez, that sounds like it was, a hectic day. And then Robert, like, I try to understand what Robert does, and like, well, that sounds really hard. So I don't really know what to say.
It's kind of hard to compare.
Yeah, in all seriousness, that's actually the real answer. In all seriousness, everybody's working very hard. This is a trying time for everyone, and everybody in the company, everybody you see here, plus the ones you don't, has stepped up and done a great job. My job is difficult just because they're all difficult, but they have their own difficulties to deal with as well. So,
You're an awesome kind of difficult.
you are.
We made it easy for you. It wouldn't be fun.
I'm going to need a new prescription on my eyes after looking at that paint color.
Don't you love it? It's the best. It's so bright and vibrant.
That is a true statement.
Yeah.
Just the last part.
I'm mixed emotion. Part of me is like, oh, it's so happy, it's so bright, and part of it's like, yeah, it's so happy, it's so bright. Yeah.
Good. Look at that every day. This is in the house of the person who constantly refers to herself as goth.
Well.
Oh, okay, y'all. Next question. It's kind of a tangent on our last one. If you could pick one team to understand better, to like understand what they do better, which team would you pick?
Definitely Robert Development.
Yep, I'm with that 100%. Definitely Robert. Yeah, development side.
Any naysayers? Anybody think they'd want to know another team better? I'd personally like to know the design team a little bit better as far as what their process is.
I second that.
I would probably say design.
We don't have a process. We just throw things at the screen until we like it. Oh, I told everybody.
Horrible! Change it! Love it!
Yeah, for the longest time when I was in the content team for client stuff, every once in a while somebody would say, hey, you need to change this, and I'm like, I don't know how to do that. Who do I talk to? And they'd be like, oh, talk to Richard, talk to Caleb, and I'm like, I wonder what they do over there.
Well, realistically for me, it's both Robert and the design department, because both kind of deal with language, like we all deal with languages in a way, but they deal with specific languages that I'm like, I would love to know how to do that, but I just English.
Mm-hmm. We can get by with English.
Yes, we can.
I've told different people I'm learning a new language, and they're like, "Oh, what language? French? Spanish? No, Java."
Yeah, right.
Nice.
Ruby on Rails.
Yes.
All right. This next one, we're going to go through each of our individual teams here. A lot of the work that we do can be difficult to explain to clients, since most people aren't really familiar with how SEO works, at least intricately. And so we spend a lot of time answering questions about setting expectations, what we're doing, what we're up to, and that can be difficult to explain. So our question is, if you could make every client and prospective client understand one thing about your work within your team, what would you want them to understand? Kelly, let's start with you again.
Dang it. I gotta start with me. I mean, I guess one thing I would want for people to understand is that you can't just throw a bunch of words on a page and expect it's what we do isn't quite like design, where it's just like we just throw things on a page and what sticks. It's there is a little bit of a process. You do have to do some research to find what words.
For the record, I was being facetious. We don't actually do that.
Are you sure about that?
We should fight.
I've been around design people enough in my life. I was a film major. I see things. But no, with what we do in the content department, there is a lot of research behind finding the right keywords, finding the right information that is going to organically bring up a client to either the top of the search list or the very first, be the very first one in a search list. So I think, just the one thing I want for clients to understand is that we're not just sitting around just throwing a bunch of words on a page. We have done research, and we know what the correct verbiage is that's going to truly help them.
That's a very good point, Kelly. I think a lot of people don't realize that you can't just throw roofing SEO or well, in a client's case, shingle roof repair or something like that, and expect it to rank up instantly. There's a lot of strategy there.
Yeah.
It's a good point. Amberlyn, if there was one thing that you would like clients to understand about your work, what do you think it would be?
That one thing per work, or just one thing in general? Always limiting me to one.
I do this every podcast. I always have her do one takeaway.
This is true. Well, I would say that clients should know that when we do set that site live, it has gone through every possible check to make sure it is 100% quality. From the social media perspective, I am always happy to answer questions about social media. It's a great opportunity for you, but don't consider everything instant. Remember, marketing takes time. And podcasts, I'm always going to bring you fun information.
That's 3 things, but
That
I'll
is
allow
3
it.
things. Oh!
You can't limit her to just one. It's never going to happen.
You cannot be contained.
All
right.
That's a little self-serving, frankly.
Nice. Let me see here. Let's go with Caleb next. What do you think you would like people to understand about design?
I'd say first and foremost, hard refresh. Just that seems to be a kicker for a lot of people. No, I would say I mean, that's hard to beat, but You know, I would say probably what people see on other sites, you know, versus what we give them. Like, you know, it's better to have a higher standard than what your competition has. It's okay to take things, but always go above and beyond. I feel like, you know, I feel like I have a lot of clients that give me 3 sites and they want sometimes exactly what other people have. And I feel like that's great, but it is also good to build upon it and, you know, just kind of stand out more as a company on online presence.
Go beyond plus ultra. I like that.
That doesn't mean go crazy with JavaScript and, you know, like sliding things. I don't think that's necessary, even though it looks cool. It's awesome. But yeah, I mean, just going above and beyond of what's already been done and, you know, steering away from the norm, but building upon it, you know.
More is more.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Rob. Last but not least.
All right. This is a tough question. I would say because of the vast array when it comes to technology, sometimes I'll have clients that will have issues with like geodata on their phone, you know, being able to drop the pin in the right spot on the map and stuff like that. And as we go in to diagnose that kind of stuff, we find out, oh my gosh, there's like 20 different things. And we've got iPhones, and we've got Androids, and we've got a lot of variables that need to be diagnosed. And then one day, a client brought to our attention that some of their images were rotated. So we had to create a bug fix for that. And come to find out, it's the iPhones. They don't actually rotate your image for the sake of the speed on the phone when taking the picture. It merely records the position of your phone is what they call EXIF data. And so their phone naturally, you know, rotates it back, and web browsers will rotate it back if you visit the image directly. But if it's embedded in a website, it doesn't do that. So we had to create a bug fix for that. So sometimes some of these bugs that we come across, just please be patient with us. The technical department is working hard to resolve these issues, and it's an ever-changing world. Every time they release a new version of software, operating system, new iPhone, things like that, all kinds of stuff can tend to show up, and it kind of has a ripple effect, and we try to stay on top of all that stuff. But we're working around the clock to make sure that that our clients are taken care of, or the agency's clients is taken care of.
Nice. What you guys didn't see was that each of our team members, while we were listening to Robert, each of us were going, I think I understand that. So yeah, we were working hard to make sure that we're updating your website to work as smoothly as possible, and Robert is a big part of that for helping out our team. All right, y'all, let me see. We're about to wrap up our podcast here, and this next bit is up for anyone. Do y'all have any encouraging words for businesses that might be you know, facing some challenges during this time?
Did I not? Was there a reason I didn't get to answer the last question?
Oh, I'm sorry, Jason. I totally skipped you. Yes, please answer that question.
That's a write-up. I haven't done your yearly
No! This is going in my yearly, isn't it?
It is. It absolutely is. Jeez. Neglected most significant guest. No, real quickly though, I did want to say, if there was a single thing I would want people to understand, is that everything we do is a process. There's no magic bullet. There's no magic bullet in any kind of marketing, but digital marketing particularly. You see a lot of things out there where people talk, do this and watch the leads pour in, or something like that, and it's all horse hockey. It's everything we do is a process. Design, content, development, all of that's a process. And then when all that's been done and goes online and goes live, what happens after that gets the results you want is also a process. It's not instant. It's not a magic bullet. Now, I'm not echoing the sentiment you'll sometimes get from other people in our industry who are like, oh, you got to wait a year. It's not that bad, but it's just, there's a lag between effort and results. And if there's anything I wanted people to understand, it would be that.
Yeah, that's definitely something that it's important to communicate and understand when it comes to SEO. So yeah, all right. Final question. Do y'all have any encouraging words for for our clients who may be facing some challenges during this current season?
No, all is darkness and death. Hang in there, guys. We're lucky in that our jobs can be done from home, and it hasn't severely affected what we're doing. But we understand that for some of you, some of the categories that we work in are doing fine right now, some less so. We understand. We're here for you, and this will pass. We will flatten the curve. All this stuff we're doing right now is part of that. There will be a vaccine. There will be a cure. I firmly believe that. And so hang in there and we'll all get through it.
Remember that your marketing doesn't stop just because everybody else has stopped too. So even if you just have the website going on, that's still going to be working for you during this time.
Mhm.
So we're here for you.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else?
Come on, guys, positivity.
Okay, I'll close this out here then. I would say to remember that we're always here to help you. If you have something, if you have questions about anything, if you have concerns about what's going on in the industry and changes that you'll need to make for your SEO or just marketing in general, we are here to answer those questions as best to our ability. And we're constantly working behind the scenes to making sure that your online efforts are going to be successful. So keep asking questions, keep giving us calls, and let us know how you feel about stuff. If you have concerns, we're here for you. Yeah. So thank you guys for being here and taking the time out of your very busy day. Everybody here on this panel is extremely busy during this season. So I'm very thankful that each of you got to come here and crack some jokes for a change.
I was thinking, did Jason do that on purpose? Or I'm trying to figure that out right now.
You never know.
Our leader times.
Oh my gosh.
All right, y'all. Time to sign off. We'll see you next time, everybody.
All right, we'll see you.